In this tutorial, I will be covering how to set display after dates on learning modules. We use display after dates so that we don't have all of our learning units open at one time. So the best way to set display after dates would be to use the edit screen. So I'm going to go to my learning units, I'm going to hover over learning unit 1, and I'm going to click on my down arrow, and I'm going to click on edit. The reason I am not going to use the adaptive release screen to set dates is because when I'm going through and a student says, hey, a learning module isn't open, it's a little bit more difficult as the instructor to tell. But if you put dates on the edit screen, then your learning module will be a little bit lighter color. So you can actually look at it and tell, okay, this learning module is not open, so I do need to open it. So to do that, I hovered over my learning unit, I clicked on my chevron, and now I'm going to click on edit. And then all I'm going to do is go ahead and click on display after. Now this date does not matter right now unless you want to go ahead and set those dates. There's a tool called the date management, which to me makes setting dates a lot easier because it lists all of your dates on one screen. So once I've checked my display after date, I'm going to go ahead and click submit. I'm going to go ahead and submit dates for all of my learning units at one time. Then I'm going to go over to my course tools, and I'm going to click on date management. Now, the first time that you access this screen, it's actually going to look like this screen. The option that I recommend using is the list all dates for review. So this is going to list everything. I've had some people try to adjust it by number of days or term info or even the start date. But if you've gone in and tweaked dates in the master, then that might not 100% line up, and then there's confusion on your part and the student's part of, okay, is something open, or is it, did it not open on time? So I like to use the list all dates for review, and then I just go ahead and click start. And then once this screen loads, I'm going to click next. And you will also get an email once the date management process finishes. So I click next here. And now anything that has a date in the course is going to be listed here. So you'll notice some of my discussions, they actually have due dates, and they've also got availability dates, so those particular things close. But what we want is we want to make sure that everything opens up after a certain date. So we want Learning Module 2 to open up after Learning Module 3, and then we want Learning Module 3 to open up after Learning Module 2. We don't want things open all at one time because that could get us in trouble for being a correspondence course. So since I'm adjusting the learning module dates, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort by item type, and I'm going to click on my learning module. And so now I've got learning modules listed and I've got my dates. So now it would be really easy for me to pull up my calendar and see what days the class starts. So I'm going to go over to the Savannah Tech website, and I'm going to look at the academic calendar, and I'm going to pull up that calendar, and then I'm actually going to drag it over to my other screen. So now I've got my calendar up, and you can also print it, but now I can look at the start date for the spring. And so the first day of classes is going to be January the 8th. So I can actually click into my my availability starts. I can switch it over to January. I click on the 8th and then put 12 a.m. and then click done. And then it's really important you have to click the check mark. If you don't click the check mark, it will not update. So now that I have got that listed, I can go and look and say, okay, so week 2 is going to be the 14th. And then just pull it back, click done, and then just check the box. And so now those are going to open up, 1 week after the next learning module opens up. So that's all you would do to set the display after dates. I do want to also show you on some of these assignments, you've got the due dates as well. Remember, I highly recommend using due dates. The reason due dates are so important is that if you set a due date on an assignment, students can look at the course calendar and they can pull all of the assignment due dates up through that course calendar, and it's a little bit easier for them to make sure that they are completing their assignments on time. So as long as you've got those due dates in there, it will be really helpful for students. Like I said, anything in the date management screen, anything in the course that has a date is going to be listed here. Now, if I had gone through on my learning modules and I had set adaptive release dates, those would also be listed out to the side as well. You'll notice on my research project, I accidentally checked December the 1st. Well, say I set this to open on, since this is a project, I set this open on August the 20th to start the fall term, and then I could close it on December the 8th if I needed to, and then I'm just going to do 11:59 and click done. So if you do have a date that listed under the ends, you can go ahead and put, you know, the end date of the end of the term if you want to leave your learning modules open, which I would recommend. That way it gives students the ability to refer back to materials in previous learning units, and they can use that to study for finals and for, you know, for other exams. If the date is not already listed on the learning module or on the